Legend of Yufei Chapter 31.
Kanglang Mountain. The story starts with Yufei basically doing his own recon, right? Just him and an aide.
Scouting it out personally.
And the terrain is described as hin, which sounds pretty serious.
Oh, it means precipitous, dangerous, think sheer cliffs, difficult approaches.
Right. And Yufei immediately gets it. He knows it'd be, difficult to conquer, almost impossible, even if he had 1,000,000 soldiers.
That tells you everything about the defensive advantage Yu Hualong has.
It does. And Yufei, he respects his opponent. He says something like,
His martial arts are excellent. I've long heard his name.
yeah, acknowledging Yu Fulong's skill.
But then he gives this order that just seems odd. He tells his own generals, his sworn brothers, younger brothers you can only watch, don't help in the battle.
Exactly. So you've got this legendary general, tough opponent, impossible terrain. And he tells his best guys, sit this one out. What is that about? Is it ego or something smarter?
Well, this raises an important question, doesn't it? I don't think it's just bravado. It feels more like strategic genius, layered.
Okay, break that down.
First, maybe he wants to size up Yu Hualong himself, get a real feel for his style, his limits, which you can't really do in a chaotic mass battle.
Personal assessment. Makes sense.
Second, it's a huge statement, right? A display of personal strength, honor. The commander facing the danger alone. That inspires his troops, and maybe it earns Yu Hualong's respect too. Sets a different tone.
Interesting angle. And third,
Remember how safe that mountain is. A full assault would be incredibly costly. Huge casualties. Maybe a direct personal challenge is actually the most efficient way. Avoids that bloodshed.
so a calculated risk to potentially save lives and gain intel.
Exactly. It's about how you win, not just that you win.
Okay, so the stage is set, the armies are there. But before the fighting starts, words. Yu Hualong speaks first.
Yeah, it becomes a philosophical battle almost immediately.
He hits Yufei with, Chifa, you see, too bad you don't get the big picture or
Yeah.
recognize the times.
Setting up his argument.
He argues the song court is corrupt, treacherous ministers, a dim ruler, and basically says its time is up, its destiny is over.
It's a very pragmatic argument, Dynasties fall, power shifts, get on the winning side. Cynical, maybe, but politically realistic in some ways.
And then he makes Yufei an offer, right? Join his master.
Rebuild the dynasty, redraw the borders.
Yeah.
It's an appeal to ambition, basically saying the tide is turning, come with us.
Trying to recruit him, not just beat him.
Exactly. And it's a tempting argument based purely on power, but Yufei's response, it's brilliant. He doesn't counter with politics. He counters with morality.
Okay, how?
He brings up the 4 virtues: loyalty, filial piety, benevolence, wisdom, the bedrock of their culture, and he just dismantles Yu Hualong's position using those virtues.
Turning his own values against him.
Precisely. He basically says, you talk about loyalty, you're a bandit, not a pillar of the nation. Where's the loyalty in serving rebels? Filial piety, you bring shame to your family name, staining its integrity, not honor. Benevolence, yeah, I poisoning the people, hurting good citizens. Is that benevolent?
He's really going for it.
And wisdom, you only know this mountain, you don't see the bigger picture, the possibility of your own defeat. It's devastating.
So before they even fight, Yudive lands this massive intellectual takedown.
Completely. The text says Yu Hualong was, ashamed, face flushed, totally speechless, intellectually disarmed.
That's incredible. The fight's almost over before it begins, but honor demands the duel, right?
Right. The code must be followed.
And they agree on the terms. Xiashirecher, blade against blade, spear against spear. No sneak attacks. Yes, sir. Using hidden arrows makes you dishonorable. Pure skill versus skill.
A true warrior's duel.
So day 1, 40 rounds. The description is amazing. Snow dancing like pear blossoms. Yes, sir. Willow catkins in the wind.
Beautiful chaos. Intense. Evenly matched.
Totally even. And afterwards, there's this respect. Yu Hualong admits he couldn't win. Today. Implying tomorrow might be different.
Setting up round 2.
And then day 2 is basically a repeat. Another whole day of fighting. Fierce. Evenly matched. Another draw.
Unbelievable endurance from both.
Yufei even suggests they keep going into the night. This is turning into an epic marathon.
And think about the psychology there. It's not just physical anymore, it's a mental grind.
How so?
Well, Prolonged combat like that, perfectly matched. You're constantly probing, looking for any tiny edge, any flicker of weakness. The physical toll is immense, sure, but the mental pressure, trying to wear down the opponent's will, their focus, it's exhausting.
Like a high-stakes chess match, but with spears.
Exactly. And the fact they stick so strictly to the code of honor, even under that pressure, it says a lot about the warrior ethos. Respect for skill, even in an enemy, it elevates the whole thing.
Okay, so that brings us to day 3. Still fighting into the afternoon. Still no winner.
The tension must be incredible.
And this is where Yu Hualong starts to waver. He thinks, okay, old Shan, I have to use my secret weapon, my divine darts, if I want to win this.
Ah, the hidden advantage.
But he's conflicted, right? He knows using them openly breaks the code, bad for his reputation.
That internal conflict is key. Even as a bandit, reputation, honor still matters to him.
So he hatches a plan, a deception. He pretends to be defeated, runs off towards the left side of the mountain,
Luring Yu Fei away from onlookers.
trying to draw him to a secluded spot, an ambush zone.
Smart, in a treacherous sort of way.
But Yu Fei's no fool. His intuition kicks in. He thinks, wait, the spear technique wasn't sloppy. He wasn't really losing.
Yeah.
Why would he retreat like that? Well, there must be a reason. He suspects a trap.
Okay, so he knows it's likely a setup.
Yes, and yet he pursues him anyway. What does that tell you?
It tells you about Yu Fei's incredible self-confidence, I think. His daring. He trusts his ability to handle whatever trick Yu Hualong has planned. It's like he's saying, okay, you want to play that game, let's play.
He's calling the bluff, almost.
Or maybe welcoming the challenge. It shows he's not just reacting, he's anticipating, ready for the deception. It also raises that ethical question again. Yu Hualong is trying to win dishonorably, but in secret. Yu Fei seems ready to counter even that.
And counter he does. So they reach the secluded spot. Yu Hualong spins around, unleashes his golden darts, his ace in the hole.
The moment of truth for his plan.
But Yu Fei, it's almost casual. He dodges the first 2 darts easily. Then the third one comes and he just plucks it out of the air. Just catches a potentially lethal projectile.
Like it was nothing. And here's where it gets really mind-blowing. He doesn't just catch it, he throws it back at Yu Hualong.
Uses his own weapon against him. Yes. And they get into this dart exchange, back and forth, described as, like the weaving maiden's shuttle. So fast, so skillful.
Okay, stop right there. That sequence that's more than just skill.
What do you mean?
That's psychological demolition. Yu Fei takes Yu Hualong's ultimate weapon, the thing he broke his code for, his divine darts, and makes them look like toys. He masters them instantly.
Showing utter superiority.
Complete dominance. The message is brutal. Your best move, your secret trick. Not only does it not work on me, but I can do it better than you, with your own weapon. It shatters Yu Hualong's confidence. He's exposed.
Yeah, you can't really come back from that psychologically.
It's hard to imagine how you would. He's been outthought, and now his secret weapon is turned against him.
And Yu Fei presses the advantage. He gives him another verbal jab, reminding him of the whole horror argument again.
Rubbing salt in the wound, reinforcing the moral victory, too.
But Yu Hualong, he's still on his horse, still defiant. He says he won't willingly surrender unless Yu Fei can literally make him dismount, clinging to that last bit of pride.
The final challenge.
And then Yu Fei does something utterly brilliant. "You baw!" he shouts, throws a dart. But where does he aim it?
Not at Yu Hualong.
No. He aims for the horse. Specifically, the little bell hanging under the horse's neck.
The bell. Why the bell?
Because the horse gets startled by the dart hitting the bell. It rears up violently and throws Yu Hualong right off onto the ground.
Oh, that's genius. Pure genius.
Isn't it? He wins without directly harming Yu Hualong using the horse's reaction. It's elegant. It's clever. It meets the challenge. He made him dismount.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, wow. It's the ultimate strategic victory. Not brute force, not even direct hit on the man himself. It's indirect, intelligent, almost playful, but utterly decisive.
Using the environment, understanding the animal.
Exactly. It shows this incredible insight, finding the subtle weak point, not in the warrior, but in his equipment, his mount. It neutralizes the threat completely, but without the brutality of, say, spearing him off the horse. It's finesse.
A masterclass in smart fighting.
And leadership, really. Understanding the whole system, not just the opponent.
Okay, so Yu Hualong is on the ground, defeated. What happens next is, for me, the real kicker. It shows Yu Fei's character.
What does he do? Gloat.
The opposite. He immediately gets off his own horse, goes over, helps Yu Huolong up.
Helps him up.
Yeah, and then offers to keep fighting if Yu Huolong wants, even though he's clearly won.
Yeah.
It's this incredible act of grace.
Wow. After everything, that level of magnanimity.
And it completely breaks Yu Huolong. He just says, Marshal, you're truly a divine being. And then this humble general willingly surrenders. Total surrender, not just of body, but of spirit.
Because he wasn't just beaten, he was treated with honor, even in defeat.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And Yu Fei doesn't take him prisoner in the usual sense. He offers him brotherhood, makes him a sworn brother, invites him to join him, support the Song dynasty together.
Turning a powerful enemy into a loyal ally.
Through honor and respect, not just force.
Yu Fei actually tells Yu Huolong, look, my good brother, I'll just pretend to get hit by your dart and fall back. We'll scrap a bit more in front of my guys so your leaders don't suspect anything. It's completely staged.
Yes, and the immediate brilliance here is really in the layers of this deception. It's not just a fake injury, it's a performance, planned out, with two audiences in mind. Yu Fei pretends to be hit by Yu Huolong's dart, makes a big show of retreating.
Yeah, he even yells out dramatically, right? To his most trusted generals, Tam Huai, Zhang Xian, Wang Yi, Niu Gugao, yelling he's been hit by a villain's dart and needs help.
Right. And that does two things. One, it creates this convincing story of him being injured for the pirates. Two, it's like a coded message for his own generals, signaling the start of a bigger plan.
And Yu Huolong, he plays his part perfectly, too.
Oh, absolutely. He fakes a pursuit, then pretends he's getting overwhelmed by all of Yu Fei's generals rushing in, so he retreats back to his own mountain camp.
But the acting doesn't stop there. Back in his camp, Yu Huolong spins this completely made-up story to his own leaders, Wan Rui and Luo Hui. He claims he wounded Yu Fei, but just couldn't capture him because, Yu Fei had so many generals helping him out. And then crucially, he suggests that Wan Rui and Luo Hui themselves, the big bosses, they need to lead the charge the next day to really clinch the victory. And they buy it. They agree.
Exactly.
So this isn't just Yu Huolong trying to look good, is it? It's way more sophisticated. He's manipulating his own leadership.
Absolutely. It's not just a simple trick. It's like a multi-layered psychological operation. It plays on the enemy's own ambition, their ego. By appearing wounded, Yu Fei doesn't just seem weak, making himself look like an easier target. He's directly manipulating the pirates' pride.
Baiting them.
He's baiting Wan Rui and Luo Hui to personally lead the charge. And by doing that, he gets their most valuable leaders out in the open for what he plans to be an ambush.
Yeah.
It's a classic strategy, really. Like luring the tiger out of the mountains, make them think they've got the upper hand, and bam, spring the trap.
So the goal is clear then.
Oh, yeah. Draw out their top commanders, take out the leadership in one go, instead of grinding through wave after wave of their fighters.
Okay, so that initial deception is now in play. The stage is set. But things are about to get way more complicated. The stakes are going up. Let's look at this next part. A gathering storm and a desperate gambit. This really pushes Yu Fei into a corner. Back at his own camp, Yu Fei returns, and he's still keeping up the act. His own brothers, right, his closest advisors, they're genuinely worried. They think he's actually hurt. But Yu Fei, he commits completely. He says something like he was ambushed, but luckily only hit a finger, not seriously injured. He sells it, even to the people closest to him.
And that detail, it just highlights how committed Yu Fei is to this whole deception. I mean, if his own sharpest, most loyal generals believe he's hurt.
Then the enemy definitely will.
Exactly. The enemy getting reports from Yu Huolong, they'd have zero reason to doubt it. This just deepens the pirate leader's false sense of security, makes them overconfident, more likely to walk right into the trap Yu Fei is setting up. It shows incredible discipline, really, and foresight.
But just as he's managing this delicate pirate situation, the whole strategic picture just explodes. This is where it gets incredibly tense.
Yeah, this is the turning point.
A scout rushes in with urgent news, and it's bad. Really bad. Jin Wuzu, he's a major prince from the inviting Jin forces, has sent his general Zanzu Mole with a massive army, like 100,000 troops, to attack Otang Pass. That's a critical spot.
A vital choke point.
And on top of that, another general, Fumazong Kanglang, who has this title Imperial Son-in-Law, he's leading 50,000 troops to attack Sishui Pass, another key stronghold.
So two massive armies hitting two critical locations simultaneously.
Exactly. Yu Fei is now facing this almost impossible situation. He's clearly troubled, and he asks his generals, the text quotes him directly, "Lake bandits not yet pacified, Jin soldiers already here, what to do?" You can feel the pressure.
Oh, absolutely. The arrival of the Jin forces just changes everything. Yufei isn't just dealing with pirates now. He's facing this huge two-pronged invasion from a powerful empire while still trying to handle the threat behind him. That immediate, overwhelming pressure forces him to think outside the box. That question he asks his generals, it's not just talk, it's a genuine plea.
Yeah.
He needs a game-changing strategy, fast.
He needs the pirate problem solved now so he can focus on the Jin.
Right, the urgency is just palpable.
And that's the moment General Yang Hu steps forward. He offers this incredibly bold, almost crazy solution.
It seems crazy at first glance, yeah.
He says he actually knows Wan Rui, one of the pirate leaders, claims they have a history, a sworn brotherhood, and that Wan Rui even tried to recruit him years ago to fight the Song.
A past connection.
So Yang Hu proposes he goes over there and tries to persuade Wan Rui to surrender.
Just walk into the enemy camp.
Right. Yufei is clearly happy about the potential. I mean, who wouldn't be? But he's cautious. He tells Yang Hu to proceed carefully and says he'll wait for good news. This feels like such a massive gamble.
It is.
What does it tell us about Yufei's leadership that he'd even consider sending someone with known ties to the enemy into their camp?
Well, it raises that question, doesn't it? Desperation versus calculated risk.
Yeah.
Yufei is under enormous pressure. Getting the pirates sorted out quickly through persuasion would be a huge win. And while Yang Hu's past ties could be a problem, they also might be the very thing that gets him in the door, gets Wan Rui to actually listen.
So it's a double-edged sword.
Exactly. Yufei isn't just trusting him blindly. He's weighing the massive potential gain against the obvious dangers, and how willing he is to take these unconventional risks for potentially huge rewards. He's betting on Yang Hu's loyalty and his cleverness.
Okay, so Yang Hu takes on this incredibly dangerous mission, which brings us to the next stage. While Wan Rui and Luo Hui are busy getting ready for their big attack, the one Yu Hualong convinced them to lead, Yang Hu takes a small boat, just 12 boatmen with him, and heads over to the pirate water fortress.
Walking right into the lion's den.
He gets to meet Wan Rui and Luo Hui, and Wan Rui doesn't waste any time. He challenges him straight up. "You're skilled, you had the natural defenses of Taihu Lake. Why did you surrender to Yufei?" Yang Hu spins this incredibly elaborate, dramatic story.
He paints a picture.
He describes Yufei's power as just overwhelming, claims his own forces, and he throws in details like cannons without equal, swarms of water ghosts, brave generals like Hua Pufang, tons of supplies at West Mountain. He says they were just completely crushed.
He's building Yufei up into this almost mythical figure.
Yeah. Then he claims Yufei saw his talent, recruited him, even got the emperor to make him a commander, and then he directly urges Wan Rui and Luo Hui to surrender to the Song, promising them titles, money, security for their families. Okay, but imagine Wan Rui hearing this. The sheer nerve of Yang Hu.
He must have been furious.
Absolutely. The text says he just roars, "Push him out and behead him." Yang Hu is literally seconds from death. The tension must have been unbearable.
Nail-biting stuff.
But then, it's Yu Hualong, the same guy who injured Yufei earlier.
The plot thickens again.
Yu Hualong quickly gets down on his knees, begging Wan Rui to spare Yang Hu, reminding him, "Hey, we used to be friendly, remember?" And Wan Rui actually backs down. He relents, but he banishes Yang Hu. Tells him if he ever sets foot in their territory again, he'll be severely punished.
Right.
So Yang Hu flees back towards the water, but here's a really important detail. Those original 12 boatmen he came with,
Yeah.
they saw him get captured, they assumed he was going to be executed, so they already panicked and fled back overland to report Yang Hu's death to Yufei.
Okay. So the report going back to Yufei is that the mission failed and Yang Hu is dead.
Exactly. Meanwhile, Yang Hu, ever resourceful, manages to persuade some low-level thugs, the text calls them Shaoluo Luo, from Wan Rui's own camp, to row him back to Yufei's camp. He promises them silver, tells them to wait outside when they get there. So Yang Hu walks in, probably expecting, job well done, but Yufei immediately confronts him, says, "My boatmen reported you were beheaded."
Using the false report.
He accuses Yang Hu flat out, "You joined the enemy, you're trying to deceive me." Then he orders Yang Hu tied up and taken out for execution.
Whoa.
Yang Hu, thinking fast even while facing execution, he doesn't just protest. He tells Yufei, "Wait, question the thugs waiting outside. They can prove I'm telling the truth."
Smart move. Use the witnesses.
So Yufei calls them in, and he asks them this very direct question. Are you bandits from Shaoyang Lake, or just common folk kidnapped by them?
And what do they say?
What do you think? They're terrified. They instantly lie to save their own skins. We're commoners. We were kidnapped by this general, pointing at Yang Hu.
And then comes the reveal from Yufei.
Yes. He just smiles faintly, says something like, "How can you still argue?" Orders Yang Hu taken away to be executed. Then he releases the thugs.
Who gratefully runs straight back to their camp.
To tell everyone what they saw.
We've got General Yang Hu. He's in deep trouble.
Yeah, accused of colluding with bandits. That's a capital offense. He's dragged out for public execution.
And you'd think maybe his buddies, the other generals, might say something.
Nope. The text says they're totally silent, probably too scared given how serious the charge is.
That silence really hits hard, doesn't it? It makes it feel like, okay, this is it for Yang Hu.
But then, boom, General Nu Gao steps up. He's known for being kind of impulsive, straightforward.
And he shouts out, "Hold the sword!" Kneels right there before the marshal.
Exactly. He argues, look, yeah, he's accused of colluding with bandits, but where's the proof? There's no solid evidence. He's pleading for Yang Hu's life.
And Marshal Yufei, he seems to relent. He agrees to spare Yang Hu's life.
Phew, right. Crisis averted.
Not quite, because the marshal immediately orders 100 severe strokes.
Ooh. Yu Gao is relieved for like a second, and he realizes 100 strokes. He even says, wouldn't that just beat him to death anyway?
This is where Nu Gao just goes above and beyond. Yang Hu's taking the beating, gets through 20 strokes.
And Yu Gao apparently can't stand watching it. He steps forward again, kneels again, asking for more mercy.
But when it's clear the punishment stands, he does something unbelievable.
He offers to take the rest himself. The other 80 strokes.
80 for someone else's supposed crime.
And it doesn't stop there. He then volunteers to personally guarantee Yang Hu's future loyalty, even gets another general, Tang Huai, to write it down because, as he admits, I don't know how to write. After Yang Hu is released.
Right, he thanks Nu Gao, goes back to his camp. But the text says he's still feeling bitter about this, quote, unjust beating, confused by the marshal.
But that bitterness doesn't last long before things get interesting.
A messenger shows up, confidential. Secret letter by the marshal.
Yang Hu reads it and then instantly burns it.
Takes fire, burns it.
And just tells the messenger, I understand. That's it?
No questions asked. Immediate understanding, immediate destruction of the evidence. That's telling.
Extremely telling. Then he tells his household he's sick, needs rest, no visitors allowed.
Classic setup. And then, super early in the morning, he slips away alone on horseback, heading straight for Kanglang Mountain.
So you put all that together. The secret letter, burning it, the fake illness, sneaking off.
What does that tell you about Marshal Yufei's big public punishment show?
It screams setup. The bitter flesh stratagem in motion.
Using actual physical suffering, the bitter flesh, as part of a larger strategic game. Okay, so let's see how Yang Hu plays his part now.
He gets to Kanglang Mountain, King Wan Rui's stronghold, asks to see the king immediately.
And when he gets in front of King Wan, what happens?
Full performance mode. He apparently starts weeping, tells this whole sob story.
What's the story he spins?
Claims Marshal Yufei tried to execute him because he, Yang Hu, failed to convince King Wan to surrender. Says he barely escaped after getting beaten badly, and now he wants revenge against Yufei.
And he plays on their past friendship, asking King Wan to help him get that revenge.
Exactly. Now, King Wan is no fool. He checks Yang Hu's wounds, and they're real, they're severe, which makes the story plausible. But he's suspicious. He actually asks him straight up, Yang Hu, are you maybe pulling a Hong guy? Doing that bitter flesh stratagem?
Wow. So King Wan knows about this tactic. It was a known thing.
Absolutely. It shows these kinds of deceptions were part of the strategic thinking of the time, known from history. King Wan is sharp.
Okay, so Yang Hu's been called out. How does he possibly recover from that? His cover's blown, right?
You'd think so, but he doubles down on the drama. He pulls out his sword, threatens to kill himself right there on the spot.
Seriously. Suicide threat.
Yep. Shouting something like, my coming here was a mistake, making it seem like he's utterly desperate and genuine in his despair.
And King Wan buys it.
Apparently, or at least he pretends to. He stops Yang Hu, says, I was just joking, offers his support.
And then tells his subordinate, Yu Halong, to take care of Yang Hu's wounds, entertain him.
Which effectively seals the deal. Yang Hu is now inside, infiltrated. Masterclass acting.
But not everyone is convinced just yet, are they? What about this Yu Halong?
Right. Yu Halong is still skeptical. Privately, the text says he thinks Yang Hu is fickle, a two-faced villain. He can't believe this quick switch.
So he tests him?
He does. During a meal, he kind of subtly jabs at Yang Hu, saying something like, "General, just the other day you were telling our lord to surrender to the Song. Now you've surrendered to us. Things change fast, huh?"
Ooh, that's a pointed comment.
Uh-huh.
Putting him on the spot.
Definitely. But Yang Hu has this brilliant kind of coded response ready.
What does he say?
He says his purpose is to follow the times, befriend heroes, and connect the shuttle-piercing righteous brothers.
Like the Weaving Maiden shuttle, golden darts.
It's like a password, a signal.
So Yu Huang gets it instantly.
Instantly. He's startled, realizes something deeper is going on, and immediately kicks all the attendants out of the room.
Okay, privacy secured. Now the real story comes out.
Exactly. With just the two of them, Yang Hu drops the act and reveals the true mission.
Which is?
Marshal Yufei is actually stretched thin. He doesn't have enough troops to defend two really crucial passes from the Jin army.
So the whole beating, the defection story.
It was all an incredibly elaborate ploy. The bitter flesh stratagem was designed purely to get Yang Hu into King Wan's camp, gain his trust.
That is intricate.
Yeah.
And incredibly risky.
Hugely risky. But it works. Yu Hualong hears the real plan, and he's apparently overjoyed. He sees Yang Hu not as a traitor, but as a hero, admires his guts.
And they celebrate.
Oh, yeah. The text says they celebrate their new alliance, get thoroughly drunk together. It marks the complete success of Yu Fei's incredibly complex, high-stakes plan. General Niu Gao, he's a tough, experienced fighter in his camp. Then suddenly a scout rushes in with this bombshell news. Yang Hu has apparently escaped overnight. The text says Niu Gao was hao buan now, just completely enraged, totally frustrated.
He immediately takes it personally. He's thinking, this doghead, he's really harmed me. It's not just desertion in his eyes. It feels like a deep betrayal.
So from Yu Fei's side, ordering Niu Gao to go fetch Yang Hu, seemingly to, make up for this failure. What's the psychological game there? Is Yu Fei intentionally playing on Niu Gao's anger?
Oh, absolutely. That's a really sharp observation. Yu Fei's reaction is fascinating because it's not sympathetic at all. He gives a direct command. Niu Gao, you go capture Yang Hu. You need to atone for this failure.
Yeah.
It's not just punishment. It feels like a deliberate move to isolate Niu Gao, send him off on what looks like this lone punitive mission with 5,000 troops.
Yeah.
And it plants this seed of genuine burning anger in Niu Gao, which, as we'll see, is actually a crucial part of the bigger picture. It's all about making Niu Gao's fury look completely authentic.
Okay, so Niu Gao, absolutely furious, marches his troops straight to Kanglang Mountain. No messing around, just starts yelling, "Yang Hu, you doghead, come out and see me."
Exactly. The bandits report this, and Wan Ruwei tells Yang Hu, okay, go fight him. But here's the twist, a really strategic one. Yang Hu refuses. He says something like, look, this general, Niu Gao, he saved me once. It wouldn't be right for me to fight him. He asks for someone else to go instead.
So what effect does that have on the bandit leaders? Does this refusal make them trust Yang Hu more?
It's a brilliant move within the deception, isn't it? By publicly refusing to fight Niu Gao, supposedly out of gratitude, Yang Hu instantly boosts his credibility with the bandits. It makes him look like a man of principle, loyal to them now, unwilling to betray someone who helped him in the past. It's a smart psychological play to gain their trust. And of course, it only makes Niu Gao angrier, which further sells the idea that Yang Hu's defection is real. Yu Hualong steps up to fight Niu Gao instead.
Right, and Yu Hualong seems like a tough opponent. He tries to taunt Niu Gao, saying stuff like, "You're my defeated general," trying to get him to surrender. He even uses Yang Hu as an example, like, "Look how well he's doing with us."
But Niu Gao, being Niu Gao, he's having none of it. His response is basically, are you kidding me? Me. Surrender to you bandits. And boom, he attacks Yu Hualong.
They fight, the text says, for about 5 or 6 rounds, but Niu Gao just cannot hold his own. He has to retreat. And interestingly, Yu Hualong doesn't chase him down. What does this apparent defeat for Niu Gao actually achieve for Yu Fei's overall plan?
That defeat is absolutely critical. It's not just Niu Gao losing a fight. It's a huge psychological win for the bandits. And it cements Yang Hu's position.
Yeah.
Seeing Niu Gao beaten makes the bandits, especially Yu Hualong and this new recruit Yang Hu, look really strong. And Yu Hualong not pursuing Niu Gao, that makes the bandits seem confident, maybe even a bit magnanimous. It builds this false sense of security among them, makes them overconfident, really, which sets them up perfectly for the next stage of Yu Fei's plan.
Okay, so the bandits are feeling pretty good about themselves. Then Yu Fei makes his move. He sends a Zumshu, a formal battle challenge, directly to the leaders, Wan Ruwei and Luo Hu. This sounds like more than just saying, let's fight. What's the purpose of sending such a formal, maybe even insulting, challenge?
It's pure psychological warfare,
Yeah.
control and manipulation. Yufei uses this Zan Shu to really get under their skin, wound their pride, and force them into action. He calls them incompetent grass bandits, questions if they even know how to win, and gives them this stark choice: fight us or hand over Yang Hu and surrender yourself.
Wow. Aggressive.
Very. He basically says, look, our emperor is merciful. He'll spare you if you surrender now. But if you wait until we flatten your mountain, destroying everything, well, don't blame us. You probably just end it early to avoid regret.
Huh.
It's designed to make them so furious that they throw caution to the wind and agree to fight him head-on exactly where and when he wants them.
And predictably, it works. Luo Hui and Wan Ruwei are enraged. They accept the challenge for the next day. They walk right into the trap. So the armies line up at Kanglang Mountain. Wan Ruwei confronts Yufei, even questions his loyalty, saying, why follow this dim-witted emperor? Surrender to us.
Yufei just stays calm, gives them one last chance. Surrender now. Save yourselves. But they're too full of themselves at this point. Luo Hui demands someone capture Yufei. And who steps forward? Yu Huolong, the same guy who just beat Ni Gao.
The tension must have been incredible. But then, the shocker. Instead of attacking Yufei, Yu Huolong turns, thrusts his spear, and kills Wan Ruwei.
Exactly. And in the same instant, Yang Hu draws his saber and cuts down the other leader, Luo Hu. Bam.
So this is the bitter meat stratagem.
This is it. The Kanroji in full effect. Yang Hu's escape, Yu Huolong fighting Ni Gao. It was all an elaborate performance, a setup to infiltrate the bandit leadership, gain their complete trust through this apparent act of self-sacrifice or betrayal, and then take them out from the inside.
Historically, how common was this kind of stratagem, and what made it work so well here? It seems incredibly risky.
Oh, it's incredibly risky. It relies on perfect timing, absolute trust between the commander, Yufei, and the infiltrators, Yang Hu and Yu Huolong. And they have to maintain that lie, even when things get tense. Its success here really shows Yufei's genius for planning, but also the incredible discipline and loyalty of Yang Hu and Yu Huolong. With the leaders gone, Yufei's army just surges forward, takes the mountain. Swift, decisive victory.
But you mentioned risk. Where could a plan like this go wrong? And considering Yu Gao's reaction later, how did Yufei manage that internal fallout?
That's a great point. The risks are huge. If the betrayal isn't convincing, if the enemy smells a rat, your agents are caught, likely executed. Game over. Historically, these things fail because of bad intel. Maybe the agent isn't convincing enough or the enemy is just too suspicious. What made it work here? Several things. First, the careful staging Yang Hu's escape, Ni Gao's very public rage. Second, and this is key, Ni Gao's anger was real. He wasn't acting. He genuinely felt betrayed, which made his pursuit and his defeat look completely authentic. Third, Yu Huolong's skill beating Ni Gao, then letting him go. It all built this perfect, believable story for the bandits.
Right. But then there's Ni Gao afterwards. The battle's won. Yu Huolong is revealed as an ally, recruiting the remaining bandits. But Ni Gao is just spitting mad. He's complaining loudly about being kept in the dark, feeling like a dummy. That really shows the human cost, doesn't it? Even when you win.
Absolutely. It highlights the potential for serious problems within your own team. Keeping a loyal, high-ranking general like Ni Gao completely out of the loop, even for a good reason, can breed resentment. It can damage trust. A leader like Yufei has to handle that aftermath very carefully. It's not just about winning. It's about keeping your team together, keeping morale up.
So how would a leader like Yufei smooth those ruffled feathers, especially with someone as fiery as Ni Gao?
Well, you'd likely need a combination of things. Maybe acknowledging Ni Gao's role, perhaps even a quiet word and explanation after the fact. But crucially, giving him a new, important job quickly. Something to restore his sense of value, his honor, which is exactly what Yufei does next.
Right, so Yufei acts fast. He promotes Yu Huolong, gives him a significant command, Tongji, registers the surrendered troops, secures the supplies, sends the victory record off, very efficient, and then new orders. Ni Gao, despite his grumbling, gets the lead again. He's to command the vanguard to go relieve Sishui Pass. And Yu Huolong and Yang Hu, now clearly heroes, are assigned as the second relief force following him.
See, that's Yufei managing the situation brilliantly. He publicly rewards Yu Huolong and Yang Hu, validating the stratagem's success. But he immediately gives Ni Gao another high-profile, crucial mission. It says a clear message. I still trust your abilities, Ni Gao. Your role is vital, even after keeping him in the dark.
So Ni Gao heads off to Sishui Pass, but when he gets there, bad news, it's already fallen to the Jin forces.
Yep. But typical New Gao, he's not discouraged. He just says, "All right then, kids, take the pass, then we eat." And he rides out to challenge the Jin general.
And this opponent, Kanglang, he's described as the son-in-law of the Jin Old Wolf Lord. Sounds like another formidable character.
He is, almost like New Gao's opposite number. Boastful, strong. The text mentions he wields these two 8-edged purple gold hammers, and they're just too heavy, too powerful for New Gao to handle effectively. They fight for 12 or 13 rounds, but again, New Gao finds himself outmatched.
Another defeat for him.
Another defeat. He has to retreat. But he does it. Smartly orders his troops to fire arrows, covering his withdrawal, forcing Zhang Konglong back. Then New Gao sets up camp nearby to wait.
Okay, so New Gao's probably feeling pretty low at this point. 2 defeats in short order. And it's right then that Yu Hualong and Yang Hu arrive with their troops. Yang Hu, kind of using his old connection and new status, just walks into New Gao's camp saying, "Hey, friendly brotherhood here," bypasses the guards.
Yeah, but what they hear from inside the tent is fascinating. New Gao is in there, complaining loudly, and he's blaming Yang Hu for his recent problems. He apparently brings up some older incident, saying ever since he got drowned by Thief Marshal Hopofang, which seems to involve Yang Hu somehow, he's just been having bad luck and losing fights.
Wow, so he's really holding on to that grudge, or at least venting about it, still feeling the sting of that whole Kanglang mountain business, maybe.
It really seems like it's such a human reaction, isn't it? Even though the stratagem worked, New Gao feels personally affected, maybe even cursed by association. Yu Hualong and Yang Hu hear this, realize how upset New Gao is, and that he's blaming Yang Hu specifically. So they just quietly back away, understanding it's not the time.
This leads to a really interesting moment. Yang Hu feels blamed. Most people might get defensive or try to prove themselves by winning their own victory, but Yu Hualong comes up with this incredible idea. He says to Yang Hu, basically, "Hey, New Gao's really upset and blaming you. What if we go capture Sishui Pass ourselves right now, and then we just give him the credit?" That way, he says, we make peace, stop him being so vexed. How about that?
It's amazing, isn't it? Just incredibly selfless and strategically brilliant in terms of team management. It's not about who gets the glory on the battlefield report. It's about restoring harmony, boosting New Gao's morale, making sure the commanders are working together effectively for the next challenge.
And Yang Hu agrees.
Immediately, he says, that makes sense. And they get their troops ready to attack Sishui Pass.